last session, we have discussed about various types of sets. We have defined them, and we also solved some problems based upon them. Just like numbers, when you began your study of mathematics in lower classes, after learning numbers, you are being taught addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of numbers. In the same manner, after learning about sets, representation of sets, we are going to learn how to operate sets. In order to operate sets, basically we have three operations. One is called union, second is called intersection, and third is called difference. But much before we go for set operations, there is something very significant which is known as Venn diagrams. What are Venn diagrams? The diagrams through which the whole of set theory can be presented in a very, very simple manner. When Euler, a great mathematician, found this, so it is named as per his name. So, what is that he has used? We have seen what is universal set. Universal set in a given context is the biggest possible set for which all the other sets are subsets. So he said a universal set can be represented in the form of a rectangle. And in the corner we write U, which represents universal set. And he said for all the other sets, use closed figures. And generally, which are the closed figures we use? We use circles. You don't need to worry about radius of the circle, size of the circle, or anything of that kind, because we are not doing geometry, but we are using circles in order to represent a set. So suppose if you have a set A, so we say this is A. Suppose there is one more set here, we call it B. In this particular manner, just by using two figures, one of rectangle and one of circle, we are able to represent all types of sets. We are able to show all kinds of operations on sets through Venn diagrams. So, what are Venn diagrams? Venn diagrams basically show how to represent a set, how to understand the concept of set with the help of diagrams. You are familiar with whenever something is presented in the form of a diagram, it becomes more easy to understand. So, we have a rectangle to represent universal set, and we have other sets represented in the form of circles. So, suppose A has got some elements, let us say 1, 2, 3, etc. This has got elements, let us say 4, 5, etc. Then we have 7, 8, 9, etc. So, what do we say? We say a universal set contains natural numbers from 1 to 9. You can see all numbers 1 to 9 are represented within the rectangle. And what are the elements of set A? The set A has got elements 1, 2, 3, first three natural numbers. What are the elements of B? We say the two elements 4 and 5. And there are some elements which are not there either in A or B, but they are there in the universal set. So, rectangle represents a universal set. All other sets are represented with the help of circles of any size. You don't need to use geometry box to draw a circle here. You can simply draw a circle, a closed figure. Some people use even ellipse to represent a set. And with the help of these diagrams, we will be able to explain, we will be able to solve many problems based upon set theory. So, we will switch over to the set operations. Just like addition of numbers, subtraction of numbers, multiplication of numbers, division of numbers, we also have here in set theory three operations basically. The first operation is union, union of two sets. What do you mean by union of two sets? Suppose A is a set, B is another set. Their union is also a set which contain the elements which are in set A or B or both. If you want to write the same definition in set builder form, it can be written as A union B is equal to X such that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. Take a simple example to understand. Let us say A has got elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and B has got elements, let us say 4, 5, 6. This U is a symbol used for union. You also need to remember that U is also used for universal set. To represent universal set also we use U, and U as an operation basically means union of two sets. So what does A union B contains? Elements which are in A. Here he said which are in A, for example 1, 2, 3. Elements which are in B, for example 5 and 6, and which are in both. So here we have 4. So what is that actually we are doing? We are just collecting all the elements, putting them together. It becomes union. Try understanding the definition again. If A and B are two sets, A is a set, B is a set, their union is a set which contains elements which are in A, which are in B, which are in both. What is significant here is we are using the word OR. Please keep that in mind. Which are in A or B or both. The second operation is called intersection. What is intersection? If there are two sets, same definition you can write. Instead of union, use the word intersection. So what does the definition says? If A is a set, B is another set, their intersection is a set which contain the elements which are in A and B both. Means common elements. The elements which are present in A as well as B is called intersection of two sets. I repeat the definition. If A is a set and B is another set, their intersection is a set which contain the elements which are present in A and B. Here we are using the word OR, there we use the word AND. I will just write it down for your information. And the symbol which is used for intersection is upside down U. A intersection B is equal to the elements which are in A and B both. So which are the elements which are there in both? It is only 4. So the answer is 4. This is the second operation. First one was union, second one is intersection. When in union, we collect all the elements. Even though 4 has come in both, while writing we write only once. We already discussed that. In a set, we don't repeat the elements. Even if they come 3-4 times, we count it only once. So, union basically consists of elements which are in A or B or both, whereas intersection is a set which contains the elements which are in A and B. So, this is the second operation. From here we move on to the third operation, which is called difference of two sets, more like subtraction of sets. So, how do we define difference of two sets? See the third definition, difference of two sets. This is the third operation on sets. What is this operation? He says if A is a set and B is another set, then A difference B is a set contains the elements which are in A but not in B. So, for example, this A equal to the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, B has got elements 4, 5, 6. We found out A union B collection of all elements, A intersection B the common elements. Now, if you have to write A difference B, how do you write? We will say A difference B contains the elements which are in A but not in B. So, the answer is 1, 2, 3. We know that 2 minus 3 is not equal to 3 minus 2, whereas 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. A union B is equal to B union A. A intersection B is equal to B intersection A, but A difference B is not equal to B difference A. Why? When we say B difference A, we will say the elements which are in B but not in A. So, the answer is elements with 5, 6. A difference B, the elements which are present in A but not in B. From A you have to take only those elements which are in A only, whereas B difference A, when we say the elements which are present only in B. So, basically these are the three operations right now. Later on we are going to study about multiplication etc. in the next chapter. Right now we will confine ourselves to these three operations, and then as we move forward, let us see the properties of these operations. As you have studied properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division for various sets, set of natural number, set of integers, set of rationals, set of irrationals, set of real numbers, same way we are going to study some of the properties of these operations. Beginning with, so the first property is that of commutativity. So, for union it is A union B is equal to B union A. For intersection it is A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. If A and B are two sets, the union of A and B is same as union of B and A, just like addition of 2 and 3 is same as addition of 3 and 2. Similarly, intersection, and just now we discussed that in case of difference it is not true, that is A difference B is not equal to B difference A. So, we say difference of two sets does not follow commutativity, whereas union and intersection follow. What is the second one? The second one is associativity, and associativity is always for three sets. So, if there are three sets, associative law says A union B union C is same as A union B union C. Similarly, for intersection, A intersection B intersection C is same as A intersection B intersection C. What happens if the intersection of two sets is a null set? Means there is nothing common. If A intersection B is equal to a null set, there is no element common, we say the sets are disjoint. What do you mean by disjoint? There is nothing common. Let us say A is a set of English letters, vowels, and B contains consonants. What is common between them? No letter is common. So, we say the intersection is a null set. Whenever intersection of two sets is a null set, the sets are said to be disjoint. Let us say set A contains all even numbers, set B contains all odd numbers. If you take intersection of them is a null set. There is nothing common in between them. So in that case, A and B will be called disjoint sets. Okay. So let us move on. Then the third one is about identity. If you recollect addition of numbers, we know that in the set of addition, particularly when you take set of integers, we have a number 0. If you add 0 to any number, the number remains same. If 0 is added to any number, the number remains same. 5 plus 0, 5, 10 plus 0, 10, 6 plus 0, 6, 12 plus 0, 12. So the number remains same. So we say 0 is additive identity. Why do we call it additive identity? Because if 0 is added to any number, the number remains same. Similarly, in set language, the null set phi, null set which we represented by Greek letter phi, if you take union of that with any set, the set remains same. How do you write it? Let us say A is a set, union phi is equal to A. So phi is called identity set. Why it is called identity set? Because if you take union of phi with any set, the set remains same. What happens if you take intersection of phi, A intersection phi? Very surprisingly it is phi. Why? Intersection means what? Elements which are common in two sets. There is no element in phi. So where is the question of common elements? So the answer is phi. So this is the third one. Let us move on to the next one. It is called idempotent law. Idempotent law means you use the operation of one set with itself. What happens if you take union of A with A? Answer is A. So it is A. Similarly, A intersection A is also equal to A. The next one is connected with universal set. What happens if you take union of a set with universal set? Remember here for universal set we are using U with universal set. If we operate a set with universal set, remember U we are using here which represents universal set union A. The answer is U, whereas U intersection A is equal to A. One is operation, one is universal set. This is universal set and this is the operation. So universal set union A is equal to U. Universal set means the biggest set. To that set if you add any set, it remains same. Something like ocean. Ocean has got infinite quantity of water. If you go and add one bucket of water in that, it remains same. So universal set union with any set remains universal set. Whereas in the intersection, universal set intersection A is A. In universal set and a normal set, what is common? The normal set. So that is the law. Lastly, we have very important law which is called distributive law. Remember, distributive law wherever it is used for two operations together. It is not used for one operation. It is used for two operations. Just like associativity we use three sets, here also we use three sets, but two operations are simultaneously used. So the distributive property or distributive law is A union B intersection C, this is one, or you can say A intersection B union C. In both the cases we have the law. Here we say union distributed over intersection. Here we say intersection distributed over union. So the first one is A union B intersection A union C, whereas the second one is A intersection B union A intersection C. In both the contexts we use, here we say union over intersection, here we say intersection over union. But keep in mind, whenever you are talking about distributive law, you are using two operations at once. Whereas for all the other laws, we use only one operation at a time. So these are some of the properties of union and intersection. We don't have these properties for difference of two sets. Why we do not have? Because the basic property itself, it does not fulfill. That is, A difference B is not equal to B difference. It is not commutative only. If it is not commutative, it cannot be associative and it cannot be following any other rules. So we don't study different rules and regulations for difference, just we know what difference is. But in the same time, when we take difference of a set with respect to universal set, we call it complement and we have a different set of rules that we are going to study in the next session. But right now, we will confine ourselves to problems based upon union, intersection and difference of two sets. So let us begin. He has given, he says find the union of the following sets. Problem number 1, first one, x equal to elements 1, 2, 3, y, 1, 3, 5. What is union? Putting all the elements together. So do that. So what is x union y? Elements which are in A, which are in B and which are in both. So 1, 2, 3, 5. Together it is union. Next one, he says second one, x is a natural number and multiple of 3. See, whenever sets are given in set builder form, while doing problem, convert it into roster form. Then you will exactly know what are the elements. So what does it contain? Natural numbers which are multiple of 3. This is the third bit. A is equal to natural numbers which are multiples of 3. Which are the multiples of 3? You have got 3, 6, 9, 12, etc., etc. Second set contains natural numbers less than 6. B is equal to natural numbers less than 6. Now tell me what is the union. What is A union B? A union B equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After 6, only multiples of 3, that is 9, 12, 15, dash, dash, dash. Basically, union means simply putting the elements together of A or B. Next problem. Third one, he says A contains 1, 2, 3. And B is nothing but a null set. Null set means, in other terms, it has no element, empty set. So what is their union? A union B. The elements which are in A, no element is there in B, no element is common. So the answer is A itself. A union B is A itself. Why? Because B is a null set. Let us move to the next problem. Problem number 2. He says A equal to AB. B equal to ABC. He is asking, is A subset of B? We have studied subset in the last class. What is the definition of a subset? If A and B are two sets, if all elements of A are present in B, we call it A is a subset of B. So check, all the elements of A are present in B. So what is the conclusion? A is a subset of B as all elements of A are in B. Second thing he has asked in the same problem, he is asking what is A union B? Simply collect all the elements. Since A is a subset of B, remember this will be very, very useful later while doing problems. If A is a subset of B, A union B will be B only. You can see A union B, we write all the elements which is nothing but B. Why? Because A is a smaller set, B is a bigger set. So what is union? All elements, so it is nothing but B. Next, third one, if A and B are two sets such that A is a subset of B, same thing is asking. The third question, he says A is a subset of B, then what is A union B? The answer is the previous question. If A is a subset of B, what is A union B? Is B itself. You can also understand with the help of diagram. How will you understand with the help of diagram? A is a subset of B. All the elements of A are present in B is something like this. This is A and this is B. What are the elements of A? We have AB. And what are the elements of B? A, B and C. So if you club both the things together, what you will get? You will get B. Because A is contained in A. So what is A union B? It is B. Suppose if he asks what is A intersection B? What is common between them? In that case the answer is A. So if A is a subset of B, A union B is B. If A is a subset of B, A intersection B is A. Okay, let us move to the next problem. Problem number 4, he has given the sets. First let us write down those sets. A contains the elements 1, 2, 3, 4. B contains the element 3, 4, 5, 6. C contains the element 5, 6, 7, 8. And D contains 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he has given few questions which we have to do. Let us begin with the first one. He says find A union B. What is A union B? Club the elements of A and B together. So A contains 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, 6. This is A union B. Next, he is asking B union C. Third one. Club the elements of B and C. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Elements which are in B, which are in C, which are in both makes B union C. Next, he says find A union B union C. This is the fifth one. A union B union C is equal to. We already got A union B. Take the union of this with C. Means what? In these elements, add the elements of C. You will get the answer. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then see what are there extra in C. That is 7, 8. So this is A union B union C. Lastly, he says find B union C union D. B union C we already got. Club the elements of D with B union C, you get B union C union D. What are the elements of B union C? They are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Along with that, club the elements of D which are not there in B union C. So we have 9 and 10. So in this way, very simple problems based upon union and intersection can be dealt with. Nothing difficult, just put them together, it becomes union. Take common elements, it becomes intersection. Let us move to the next. Problem number 6. He has given the sets. In the previous problem, we have discussed about union. Now we are discussing about intersection of two sets. What is intersection of two sets? Elements which are present in both, elements which are common. So A intersection B, what is the answer? Which are the elements present in both A and B? We have 7, 9, 11. So this is the answer. Next, we have A intersection C intersection D. We have next A intersection C intersection D. Elements which are common between A, C and D. Elements which are common between A, C and D. The easier way can be first find out common between A and C. What are the elements common between A and C? Only 11. A has got 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. C has got 11, 13, 15. Common element is only 11. Intersection D. D has got elements 15 and 17. So what is common between them? Nothing is common. So it is an empty set. Next he said B intersection D. B and D. Whatever is common between B and C. D. Once again we find that there is no element which is common between B and D. Why? Because B contains 7, 9, 11, 13, D contains 15, 17, no element is common, so it is an empty set. A intersection D, first and fourth, once again you find that it is an empty set. There is no element common between A and D. Lastly, he says A intersection B. We already got A intersection B as 7, 9, 11. Intersection B intersection C. In these two, what is common? You can find that two elements are common, 11 and 13. Now take common between them, the answer is 11. So this is the answer. So in this way, problems connected to intersection can be solved. Let us move to the next. Which of the following pairs of sets are disjoint? You remember when we were discussing about intersection of two sets, we said that if there is no element common between two sets, the sets are said to be disjoint. A is a set, B is another set, there is no element common. If there is no element common, their intersection is a null set. Whenever intersection is a null set, the sets are said to be disjoint. So this problem is based upon disjoint sets. So let us see what are the problems. He has given the sets in set builder form. Convert it. Yeah, first one is in roster form only. The elements are 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas the second set contains the elements. He says natural numbers between 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are included. So we have 4, 5, 6. Now see and tell me, are they disjoint? No, because there is element 4 which is common between them. Their intersection is not a null set, so they are not disjoint. Why they are not disjoint? Because the intersection is 4. The common element is 4. Second one in the same, first set contains the vowels. and the second set contains C, D, E, F. Do you find any common elements? Yes, of course. E is present in first set as well as second set. So, once again these two sets are also not disjoint. Why they are not disjoint? They are not disjoint because they have a common element E. Their intersection is a singleton set. Singleton set means a set which has only one element. The last one in this, the problem number 8, x is an even integer and x is an odd integer. So, the third one, even integer. Write the even integers, let us say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. And the second set contains odd integers, something like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. Now look at them. Do you find anything common? We know that there is nothing common between even numbers and odd numbers. Both are disjoint sets. Why they are disjoint? Because their intersection is a null set. There is nothing common. So the answer is they are disjoint. Means suppose if you keep naming, let us say this we are calling it A, this we are calling it B. So we say A intersection B is a singleton set. So it is not disjoint. Suppose this first set you call it A, this you call it second set, we say A intersection B is a singleton set. So it is not disjoint. Suppose this set we are calling it A, this we are calling it B, we say that A intersection B is a null set, nothing common. So they are disjoint. So this is about disjoint sets. So we have discussed about union, we have discussed about intersection, we also discussed about difference. One thing which we have left is difference of two sets, and the next problem is all about that. Let us first write down the set. Set contains the elements. Let us observe these sets first. What are those sets? The first one contains 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. They are all multiples of 3. Second set contains multiples of 4. Third set contains multiples of 2, or you call them even numbers. The last set contains multiples of 5. How do I define A difference B? A is a set, B is another set. What is A difference B? We set the elements which are in A but not in B. That is A difference B. Very simple. It's more like subtraction. So first is A difference B. From A remove B. In A, whatever elements are there, whatever is there in B, remove them. So The answer is 3, 6, 9, 12 is there, so we cannot take 15, 18, 21. Elements which are in A but not in B. What are the common elements if you look at that way? We have 12. Then that is the only element. So we write all the elements of A except 12. That becomes A difference B. Then next is A difference D. From A remove the elements of D. D contains multiples of 5. So remove multiples of 5 from A, you will get A difference D. 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 21. Elements which are there in A but not in D. So that is A difference D. Next is C difference A. From C, remove the elements which are in A. C contains all multiples of 2, or you call them even numbers. From that, remove the multiples of 3 which are there in A. So C difference A. What is C difference A? All the elements except multiples of 3. So the answer is 2, 4, 8, 10, 14, 16. Elements which are there in C but not in A. That is C difference A. Next is B difference C. From B, remove the elements of C. See, when you look at the sets, it appears that B is a smaller set and C is a bigger set. But we have nothing to do with that. B difference C basically means elements which are there in B only. So how will you know what are there in B only? Whatever is there in C, remove it. So what is left is B difference C. So here we have 4. Here also we have 4, so we cannot take. Here we have 8, here also we have 8. Here we have 12, here also we have got 12. Here we have got 16, here also we have got 16. 20 is the only element. From the set B, if you are removing the elements of C, from B if you are subtracting C, so 4 is gone, 8 is gone, 12 is gone, 16 is gone. The only element left is 20. Then he says C difference B. From C you remove B. So 2. 4 is there. Then 6. From C we are removing the elements of B. So 6. 8 is there. 10. 12 is there. So remove it, leave it. Then we have 14. 14 is there. And then we have 16 is again common. So 2. From C we are removing B. So 2 which is not there, 4 is there, we have not taken. 6, correct. 8 is there, we will not take. 10, yes, correct. 12 is already there. 14, correct. And then 16 is there. So this is the answer. Finally, he says C difference D. From elements of C, remove the elements of D, you get C difference D. So you have got, here we have basically multiples of 5. Remove the multiples of 5 from C, you get C difference D. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14 and 16. So in this manner, we study about set operations, union, intersection, difference of two sets. Let us move to the next problem. Last two problems before we conclude this session. Let us come to the last part of this session. We have two problems. Set X contains the elements A, B, C, D. Set Y contains the elements F, B, D, G. He is asking what is X difference Y. What is X difference Y? Elements which are in X but not in Y. So write down the elements which are in X but not in Y. A, B is there in that, so we cannot take. C, D is there, so we cannot take anything more. So this is X difference Y. He says find Y difference X, elements which are in Y but not in X. So we have F, B is present, so we cannot take, D is present, we cannot take, and then we have G. And then finally he says find the intersection, the elements which are present in both. So we have B and D. Lastly, he says R is a set of real numbers. We know that the set of real numbers contains rationals and irrationals. Okay? And then he says Q is a set of rational numbers. And then he says find R difference Q. What will happen from set of real numbers if you remove set of rational numbers? You are left with irrational numbers. So what is R difference Q? Set of So in this way, we find that the problems of this exercise are quite simple. They are based upon set operations called union, intersection and difference of two sets. We have solved some problems, and as an assignment, you will be doing rest of the problems of the exercise from the textbook, and we have covered the exercise 1.4. In the next session, we are going to study about complement of a set. Something, it is not new. You will be taking difference of a particular set with respect to universal set. So it is called complement of a set, and we will see problems based upon that. Till then, thank you. Sai Ram.